Hello everyone and welcome to your final history lesson about the ancient Egyptians. And the aim of this lesson is to kind of try and tie a lot of the things that we've learned together. So today we're going to be looking at ancient Egyptian entertainment. Now, what forms of entertainment do we have today? Have a think. Have a think. Have a little think. Well, we've got lots of different forms of entertainment today, and most of it is based around some sort of screen or some sort of electricity. The Egyptians like their entertainment like we like ours today, but some of it was very different to what we have. Do you think that they had electricity, and what impact would that have had on their forms of entertainment? If you've ever been through a power cut and you've got to entertain yourself, you know that nowadays that can be a bit of a challenge because, most of my entertainment comes from a screen of some sort. Well, they never had that, so they had to come up with other forms of entertainment. So let's take a look at what they did to keep themselves happy and occupied. Well, first of all, they did lots of hunting. So richer people and the pharaohs might have hunted dangerous animals like lions and hippos. Played board games. Now these were played by the rich and the poor, and one of them, Senet, is thought to be over 5,000 years old, and pharaohs were often buried with Senet boards to keep them occupied in the afterlife, which we know a bit about from the last session. Sports. The Egyptians enjoyed physical sports like wrestling, which prepared them to be soldiers, and they also enjoyed chariot racing. Now, have a think. Which other civilization that we've studied liked chariot racing? Storytelling. They had lots of great storytellers who could entertain audiences for hours with heroic tales of the gods and their endeavours, their journeys and their adventures. And storytellers were well trained and they were great performers, just kind of like actors today. Water sports. Now, obviously living close to the Nile, lots of Egyptians were great swimmers and they took part in a variety of water sports like rowing or challenging the waves of the Nile in a boat. And finally, things like parties. The rich often held lavish parties, which means fancy parties, which involved music and dancers, both male and female. The Egyptians played instruments like flutes, lyres, which is kind of like an old guitar, and harps. And parties could show off how rich and powerful you were. Now we know that lots of other civilizations enjoyed parties as well, so we know that the Romans enjoyed parties as well in showing off their power and status. So this is what we're going to do today to kind of tie all of our learning together in a fun kind of way to end our Egyptian topic. We're going to plan our own ancient Egyptian pharaoh's party. You are going to have a budget that you cannot go over, otherwise the gods will be very angry with you. But the party has to be the best party around, so think carefully about what you want and what is most important to you. We'll link some of this to the information that we've already covered, such as social status, currency, food, and now entertainment. So now we're going to have a look at the instruction sheets in our party packs. So first of all, we've got our instructions. So it says, you are an ancient Egyptian pharaoh and you are going to plan a party for your family and friends. It has to be the best party ever. But there are certain things that you must include for your party to work. So you have to have some sort of musician. You have to have at least one. But if you want more than one musician, that's up to you. Dancers. Again, you have to have at least one. But if you want any more, again, you can have more. Perfume cones. You have to wear these perfume cones because these were worn on guests' head as they walk in. And these were to kind of make sure that everybody was smelling nice and fresh. You have to have 3 items of food. The fancier they are, the better. 2 types of drink. Again, the fancier the better. And you have to have 2 pieces of entertainment and one of them must be water-based. Okay, so you need all of those things. Now, each item has a cost with it and you have a budget of 40 dabans. Now, daban was a type of currency that the Egyptians might have used, and this was all based on weight. So they might put something on a scale and tell you how many dabans that weighed, so that's what it cost. So if you went to go and get some food of some sort, they might put it on a scale and go, right, that'll be 3 dabans, please. Now you cannot go over this budget or the gods will be furious at you. Now each item also has a set of rating points with it from one of 3 factors. It's either going to be good for entertainment, good for power, or it's going to be good for food and drink. And you have to decide which rating you think is most important. Do you want to be known as a great entertainer? Do you want everyone to think that you are incredibly powerful? Do you want everyone to know that you serve the best food and drink in all of Egypt? Or do you want to try and find a balance between all three of them? So, once you've worked out your total costs and made sure that you are in budget, then you can add up all of your ratings to see which one has the biggest amount of points. And then you can compare your party with people around you. So maybe you've got your parents to have a go at it, or your brothers and sisters. So, what does this look like? Well, you've got a recording sheet here as well, and there's a little example up at the top. So for example, you might have picked a harpist. Now that cost 4 Dabans, and that gave you 3 entertainment points. You then write down all of the things that you've picked for your party, and then at the end, at the bottom, you can work out the total. So you can make sure that you are within the price range that you've got within the budget, and then you can see which of the entertainment, power or food and drink has got the most points, and then you can say whether you are an entertaining genius, a pharaoh powerhouse or a food and drink specialist. Now you've got these lists as well which you can choose from. So we can see we've got different types of musicians up there. We've got a harpist, a lyrist, a flutist or a musician group. Now you can see that some of them cost more, but then they have a higher rating. Some of them cost less, but they've got less rating as well. So you've got to try and balance it. Do you spend more to get more points, or do you spend less and get less points? Do you try and find a balance somewhere? With your dancers, you can get a dancing duet, which is 4 Dabans and 3 entertainment, or you can get a dancing group, which costs 7 Dabans, but you get 5 entertainment. So it costs more, but you get more. Again, you've got some extra little bits in there. So you've got the perfume cone, so you have to have some sort of perfume cone in there. You can have slaves if you want to, which will give you more power. And then you've got god statues as well, which give you more power. Decoration, you don't have to have these things, but they all add to your power. If you want to show people that you are the most powerful pharaoh in the land, then there we go, add some decoration in there. So we have to have a musician of some sort, we have to have some sort of dancers, we have to have some sort of perfume cones as well, and then we move on to the food and the drinks. Now remember, we need 3 types of food and 2 types of drink as well. So different types of food. Well, we've got beef, and we know that beef was expensive because only the rich would go hunting and they would eat meat. So your beef is 5 Dabans, but it gives you 6 food and drink, whereas your bread, which we know was very cheap and everybody ate, well, that only gives you 1 food and drink. But it depends on what you want to spend. Do you want to save money on the food and drink so that the entertainment side of things is better, or do you want to go all out on the food and drink and not really make the entertainment all that great? With drinks, we've got things like milk, beer, red and white wine, and water. And again, milk is more expensive, water is really cheap. We have to have some sort of entertainment as well, and remember, one of those has to be water-based. So you might have a storyteller and a boat race, or you might have the board games and the boat race, or you might have the storyteller and the swimming race. That's entirely up to you, but we have to have that mix in there. Have a go of it and replay it. Do it a few times. There's nothing wrong with looking at it going, that's not quite right, that's not how I expect it to be. Can I do it another way and get a higher rating? What about these choices that I make? Can you play it against somebody else in your house and go, we went for the same kind of thing, but I ended up being more powerful and spending less money? What do you think? So don't forget to send examples of it to your teachers, because we'd love to see it, and I hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed our ancient Egyptian topic and that you are ready to learn about more history when you go onto your next year group. So take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Bye!